Hello, and welcome to Bones at All, a podcast about the stuff I like. So, for starters, I am an A level student who does biology, geography, psychology, and art. And the reason why I'm doing all of those is because I like them, and I like them enough not to try and drop them all. Well, one. So, yeah. And, well, I have a lot of reasons why uh, I'm starting this podcast. So, one, I thought, wider reading, yeah, cool. I like reading, but I thought of how I could, take this to another step. Oh, I read this, and I'm putting it in a pot. I'm sorry, no, that's a bit too far. But yeah, it kind of shows how much I understand it, and I like it. I also really like podcasts, but that's more of a side quest. Um, I'm also thinking of Gold DOV, so this could be like a skill for Gold DOV. And yeah, I think it's really nice. Compiles all my learning together, and I get to share it with the world if the world listens. I'm gonna take my research and yeah, research and knowledge from scientific journals, stuff like that, which is really infuriating because a lot of them are not available to the public. You have to pay. So, I am scrounging around. I am really scrounging around. But is it fun? Yeah, it is. I have to admit, even though most of my friends are like, ew, that's not fun, it is fun. So my thoughts about this podcast is, well, my initial thoughts were, what do I like? What do I want to be in the future? I wanted to be a paleontologist in the future. So I thought, paleontology, nice. Yeah, so mainly this podcast is about that. But I'm also thinking, what else do I like? So, yeah, I mean, I like a lot of sports, like badminton. I'm also thinking of taking up rock climbing. How nice is that? I think pretty nice. I also like F1, which is also kind of contradictory to how much I like the environment. But I have a point. F1's going a bit more greener, so. And I'm just watching it, so yay. And psychology. I like psychology. Psychology is really interesting. Like, in some ways, it touches some parts of my brain. Sorry. But yeah, it's really interesting. I like to know how my mind works. I like to know how I remember stuff. So, yeah, that type of stuff. I also really like art history, like the story behind art, how art works, different media in art. That I love that. I could eat it up. You know what I mean? It's delectable. So yeah. Um, so I'm gonna play the theme song of the podcast right now. So that was the theme song. Guess who composed it? Me, with zero musical knowledge. That's right, that's right. So if it's a bit lumpy in places, if it's a bit bad in places, understand that I have zero musical knowledge. Thank you. And I'm just doing it by ear. And yeah, it used to sound a lot worse and more chaotic, and I didn't like it, and I edited it, and now it sounds better. A lot more better. So, for well, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, like, another reason why I'm thinking of doing this is because I want to improve on my, time management skills. It's always been a problem for me. I always get distracted. Sometimes I can't finish stuff in the allocated time that I have. So I think this could really help. The fact that I was scheduled to release this like 2 weeks ago shows how bad my time management skills are. So I think this could really help by, exposing me to the elements in some way. Yeah, it could really help. So anyways, the well, I well, yeah, the main focus of the podcast is like paleontology. So, for next week, which I'm recording tomorrow, I'm releasing tomorrow, technically, we'll, for the first section of the podcast, I'm trying to get my word across here. It's not really working. Anyways, the first section of the podcast I'm thinking about is like geological periods, like Permian, Cambrian, Cambrian explosion, Carboniferous, Devonian, that type of stuff. I think it's really interesting, how biology and like biodiversity has, well, and other aspects has like expanded to what we have now, you know, coexistence with, well, not really coexistence, honestly, like humans dominating nature in some ways, and in a lot of ways, not some ways, in a lot of ways. Speaking of that, I'm also thinking of like extinct species, how they used to be, what caused it, like Steller's sea cow, passenger pigeon, Tasmanian tiger. I love the Tasmanian tiger. Like, I used to, well, I'll ramble on later. Anyways, like, and then another theme or like block that I'm thinking of talking about is like the evolution of animal families. So like cetaceans, whales, how they went from land into the ocean, and maybe also like crocodilians. I think it's really interesting how they started on land and then their legs got shorter and stubbier and they just started going into the ocean and now they're semi-aquatic. Um, I could also do Titanoboa and like the big old crocodiles of before. That's interesting. Um, yeah, and then I could also do physics and sport, F1, badminton. Um, and yeah, I think that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. On psychology, I could do like psychology and sport, how self-esteem affects sport and stuff. That's really interesting because I um I used to play badminton in like a high-ish level. I had, well, let me try and phrase this correctly. I had county training, but I wasn't the top group. I was group B. Group A was the top group. And almost every single time I was struggling with my mental health. I felt really anxious. I thought, you know, everyone was judging me, looking at how I was doing, and honestly, fair. Me at my teenage year, that's what happens. That's what happens, and then I quit. So, yeah, I've never been happier. Look at, and then I'm thinking of going back to a regular club, not the training club, because I think that wrecked my self-esteem and I felt horrible. So, I think that'd be nice to delve into. Yeah, that'd be very nice to delve into. Yeah. Oh, I could also do like plants, like communication between plants, because somewhere on social media I just watched something about plants communicating with each other via their root networks and stuff like that. So yeah, that's very interesting, I think. And they also like share nutrients to sick plants. That's interesting. Like you probably would have thought, oh, plants are just there. Photosynthesis, active transport from the roots, blah 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 blah. But no, interesting. They have communities. They have best friends. They have communities. Yeah, just like people. Just like people. So you're probably like thinking, oh, why do you like paleontology? That's a bit weird. I mean, I think a lot of people think that paleontology is for like kids, and honestly, and I hate to say this, but not girls in some ways. I don't know how, but well, I as a kid I watched Disney Channel, and then my parents went like, not educational, not educational, and they weaned me off of it and forced me to watch Nat Geo Wild, and that's how I got to this. That's how I got to this, ecological, um, paleon. I don't know the word. This mind. So yeah, very very fun. um, I think I also think how like animals have been domesticated over time. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, yeah. Fun times, fun times. Um, so big note before I finish this very, very short episode. Um, if I mean, I might just ask one of my friends who does music to go over and listen to the theme song and ask how I can improve it to, make sure it's not bad. Because to my ears, I think it sounds a-okay. I mean, it could have more aspects in there. It's not the worst thing I've heard. But yeah, and sit tight, relax, listen to this while you're doing something if you want. Not while cutting your veggies, obviously. I'm kidding. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Wait. I'll post every Sunday, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. On Spotify and YouTube because I can't figure out how to post on iTunes. And I don't want to go through that ordeal. And I don't have the time for that. Wait, no, time management. I'll think about it. Yeah. So this podcast will be like uncut, unscripted. I mean, I do have notes on me, but that's it. Yeah, so that's the whole ordeal. I'm planning to do this for about a year. If I really, really like it, I might extend it beyond my A levels, that's the plan. So I will probably be releasing an episode tomorrow. Yeah. And yeah, bye. Bye bye.